Hey everyone, it's Matt Donahue with Mission Financial Planners. This is your weekly update for the week beginning February 23rd. All eyes are on what the impact of the U.S. Supreme Court tariff ruling is going to be. We will talk about that more in next week's update, but let's go ahead and recap last week. Before I do, though, I want to talk about something a little bit deeper than markets. I just want to talk about what I like to call the illusion of control. And if we go back to philosophy, Epictetus said, if you feel like someone's done you wrong, in many cases, isn't the person who's harmed you, it's your belief about what happened. We've all been cut off in traffic and think, oh, wow, what a jerk. And the reality is the person maybe just didn't see us. That can apply to everyday small occurrences. It can also apply to money. Markets are going to move. Rates are going to rise and fall. Property tax notices will show up in the mailbox. Your retirement balances will fluctuate. The thing is, none of it's personal. A market drop isn't an insult. A tax bill isn't an attack. A valuation notice is not a value judgment. These are systems that our society has that are doing what they're supposed to do. It's our reaction to what they do that will determine whether or not we have a good outcome. So if we look at some of the recent market data, we've got the GDP is growing modestly. Certain sectors are strong, some are struggling. And that's really a rotation, right? It's diversification has always mattered, but it really matters right now because sector leadership is changing. Growth led for a long time. This year so far, value is leading. Energy is surging. Technology stocks are cooling. Diversification helps protect you from making an emotional or maybe a rash decision about how you're going to react to all that. Property taxes, hey, the same principle applies there. Valuations oftentimes lag real market values. You do have a window to appeal. If you appeal, though, it's got to be based on fact, not frustration. Because if you go through an appeal process with a kind of an anger-driven approach, it's not going to work. That also applies to estate planning. When was the last time you updated everything? Your will, your trust? Are the beneficiaries current? Are your trusts actually funded? Has your attorney ever talked with you about what that really means? That clarity of estate planning really helps with end-of-life planning. And keep in mind, end of life isn't just the day you die. It's maybe the 3 to 5 to 10 years before you pass away. And then what happens after you pass away. Retirement planning, as we all know, deserves equal attention. Do you have old 401ks sitting around? If you're already retired, have you started to think about required minimum distribution strategies? If you're 10 years out from retirement, have you started to think about that? Because you should. The reason why is you need to coordinate your income and your tax strategy. Discipline here is going to protect decades of savings. So think about your future. Could you live 6 months without touching your retirement accounts? Do you know when you're going to take Social Security? Are you prepared for healthcare decisions, including Medicare, extended care? Preparation helps reduce stress and especially financial stress. And that's really the bottom line. When we talk about harm from a philosophical standpoint, harm doesn't come from volatility. It comes from an impulsive reaction to the volatility. If you can take a step back, regain your perspective, that builds confidence and doing the financial planning that really gives you freedom. So update your estate documents, review your retirement strategy. If you get those property tax notifications and those valuations don't look accurate, appeal it, stay diversified in your portfolio, don't jump at last year's returns, and control what you can control. Because your financial freedom does come down to discipline and the ability to take a pause before you react to something. And it's the confidence that your plan is aligned. But it all starts with mastering your perspective. Thanks, everyone. Have a great week. We will see you next week.